Okay, welcome back to another Spaceman Moon Predictive Crypto Programming You show. How the moon shows the concentric circles of the Earth and the sun's motion on the Earth reflected by the moon as well, which we'll get into that symbolism sooner than later with this episode because I don't want to be dinged for another copyright like I was on the first part. So with that being said, let's just let this play along as we see a special part here that's very, very, very important. So different phases of the moon, saying that it actually rotates every 24 hours. So sometimes you see how it's basically like an afro around a head, and then it's from a different angle. Those are two different places. So it's showing you the vertical to the horizon axis of moon's phases. But this is not what I'm really trying to point out, but it's just for you to observe. And I was just going to say that, and look what comes up, North Observation. You guys can check it out on Flat Earth Nation's channel on BitChute. I don't want to get dinged. But there's the concentric circles of the spiraling of the sun. I believe it has to speed up and slow down to do its spiraling within and its spiraling without. This is just my hypothesis according to my own deductive reasoning within my mind. And this is the part at 8:05, 8:06 I'd like to show you. Here we have the sun when r is 75. I guess that's the radius of this circle. And sun is, I don't know, 2 pi r equals 47,100 kilometers. So the sun makes this distance in 24 hours. Therefore, the sun is traveling 47,100 kilometers in 24 hours equals 1,962 kilometers an hour. All right, we got that. It goes around this circle this way or that way. Yeah, I guess this way. Land of the rising sun and the Pacific. Or, I don't know, this seems to be the Atlantic. I'm confused now. What's what over here? Anyways, we'll get into that another day. But when it goes through the middle circle, it's traveling when r is 10,000, radius is 10,000. And then it's going 62,800 kilometers. Sun makes this distance in 24 hours. And then, therefore, it's traveling at 62,800,000 mile or kilometers in 24 hours equals 2616 kilometers an hour. This is just a coincidence. I don't know. And we got the same thing when it goes to the outer circle. Okay. I'm going to get into the coincidence sooner than later. So the sun does this distance in 24 hours, 78,500, and it equals 3270 kilometers an hour. Very interesting numbers, by the way. So let's just take a look. 47, round it down to 47. 62.8, round it up to 63. 78.5, round it up to 79. Let's take a look at what was peculiar because of number 47 came to my mind of what? There you go, the periodic table. I think I'm going to get back into studying this periodic table, although I know it from the Walter Russell chart, which is much better for the spiraling of creation's elements, but that's besides the point. Let's get into the numbers of this periodic table. So, scrolling down, there's many ways to look at this, how they break it up. And right there, there's a basic cheat sheet for you guys. But those rare earth metals holds a very interesting secret. And what else do we have? Our coinage metals, right, hold a very interesting secret. Now we know our coinage metals, and we got rare earth metals. What's a rare earth mineral now declared by the United States IPMI? Right, AG, I believe, is silver. So let's just take a look. What's their numbers? AG, silver, 47. AU is what? 79. That strikes me very peculiar. So then I look down for a what? A 63, and it's the EU. Oh, wow. What can that mean? This is going to blow your mind. So before I get into that, let's take a second look. I said this is a reflection in the moon, and the moon represents what? Silver. So the inner circle is in the number of the periodic table for the element silver. The outer circle has the same basic distance for the sun going at its own element of AU, 79. And what do we have for the EU? 63. Okay, and that's right in the middle. Let's just take a look. What is EU? Now, remember, we're talking about silver and reflection, the moon being silver reflection, and it's also a mirror image as well of the earth. So silver being one of the highest elements there, even though the sun represents gold. European EU is a europium. EU is a chemical element with atomic number 63 and is classified as a lanthanide group of rare earth metals within the F block of the periodic table. It is a moderately hard silvery metal that readily oxidizes in air and water, forming a dark oxide coating. The dark side of the moon, or the dark, I don't know, I'm just joking. And is the most chemically reactive, least dense, and softest of the lanthanide series. The element was first isolated in 1901 by French chemist Eugene, I don't want to demolish his name, Demarque, who named it after the continent of Europe, although earlier observations were made by British scientist William Crookes and French chemist Paul Lecoq de Boisbaudran. Demarque, sorry to some of my subscribers who are French, is credited with its definitive isolation and naming. Now check it out. Look what it looks like. Okay, look what this says here. It's very, very bullish. Europium exhibits two common oxidation states, +3, which is typical for lanthanides, blah, 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 common for European due to the half-filled electron shell. The +2 state is a mild reducing agent and is particularly important in applications such as phosphorus and anti-counterfeiting measures. Naturally occurring Europium consists of two stable isotopes, 15 and 53, which occur in nearly equal abundance. It is one of the scarcest rare earth elements on Earth and is not found in nature as a free element, but rather in minerals such as bastnasite, monazite, xenotime, and lepidolite. Okay, check this out. Applications stem from what? Employed in the euro banknotes due to its distinctive fluorescence and its what? Anti-counterfeiting measures? Oh my God. And in LEDs and X-rays too. Check it out for yourself, people. The best silver, rarest earth on the planet, number 63. And it's